All right, if you're in digital marketing, or really anywhere near the internet, your head is probably swimming in a new alphabet soup of acronyms. You know SEO, of course, but now people are throwing around AIO, GEO, and AEO. It really feels like the rules of the game are changing by the minute. So let's get into it and actually make some sense of all this.
So the big question on everyone's mind is, what is the real difference here? Right? Are these just fancy new buzzwords that consultants made up? Or are they totally separate strategies that we actually need to pay attention to? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down right here, right now.
And here's our game plan. We're going to start with the one we all know and love, SEO, just to get our bearings. Then we'll dive into each of the new kids on the block, AIO, GEO, and AEO, and figure out what makes them tick. And you're definitely going to want to stick around for the end, because that's where we'll show you how it all clicks together. Okay, first things first. Let's start on solid ground with what we all know. Good old search engine optimization, or SEO. This is the search you've been doing for, well, forever. At its core, SEO is really just the art and science of making sure your webpage shows up as high as possible on that classic list of results when someone searches on Google, Bing, or yeah, even YouTube. The whole goal is to get seen on that traditional page of blue links. Simple enough, right? And the day-to-day work of SEO hasn't really changed all that much. You know the drill. It all kicks off with keyword research, figuring out the exact phrases people are typing in that search bar. Then it's about building trust, mostly by getting other credible websites to link back to you. Think of these as little votes of confidence. And of course, you've got to optimize the actual content on your page and make sure your site's technical health is in order so the search bots can crawl and understand it without any problems. Okay, now for the first big shift in thinking, AIO, or optimizing for AI. And this is a really fundamental change. We're not just trying to rank on a list of links anymore. No, now we're basically trying to teach these new digital brains.
AI, or AI optimization, is all about making your brand, your content, and your data super easy for large language models. We're talking about things like ChatGPT or Perplexity to find, to digest, and most importantly, to trust. The goal here isn't to be a link, it's to be a source in the AI's knowledge bank.
So how in the world do you teach an AI? Well, first, you do it with facts. Your data has to be consistent and accurate everywhere it pops up online, because AIs get really confused by contradictions. Second, you build trust by hanging out in the right places, meaning getting your info on sources the AIs already trust, like Wikipedia. And finally, you have to speak their language. That means using machine-readable formats like schema markup to label your content so the AI knows for sure that 25 is a price, not a street number. Which brings us to our next step in this evolution, GEO, which stands for Generative Engine Optimization. So if AIO is all about feeding the AI knowledge, GEO is all about making sure you show up in the AI's final answer when it's part of a search engine. GEO is super specific. It's all about getting your website cited or featured in those new AI-powered summaries you see at the top of Google now, what they call the Search Generative Experience, or SGE, or in the responses you get from Bing Chat. Okay, let's pause here because this is really important to get. AIO is about making the AI model smarter in general by becoming one of its trusted sources. GAO, on the other hand, is about getting your specific web page cited as a source for one specific AI-generated answer to a search. It's a subtle difference, but it's absolutely critical. So how do you actually get cited by the AI search engine? Well, it turns out it all starts with just having really strong foundational SEO. But the secret sauce is proving that you're a source worth listening to. This is where Google's whole EAET principle comes into play. You have to prove you have real-world experience, deep expertise, recognized authoritativeness, and just plain old trustworthiness. In a world full of AI-generated noise, proving you're a real human expert is literally everything. And that brings us to our last acronym of the day, AEO. This one is all about speed, and it's about being incredibly direct. It's not about being one of the options, it's about being the answer. So answer engine optimization is totally focused on getting your content to show up in those direct answer boxes. You know, the featured snippets that sit at the very top of Google. And what's becoming more and more important, it's about being the verbal answer that you hear back from voice assistants like Alexa, Siri, or Google Assistant. Just imagine someone asking their smart speaker that exact question right now. They don't want a list of 10 different websites read out loud. No way. They just want one single, clear answer.
And boom, here it is. This is a perfect example of how you do it. A piece of content that's optimized for AEO gives you the answer immediately and in plain English. The solution is the very first thing you see. It's beautiful. The strategy for AEO is actually pretty simple. First, you answer the question right away. Don't bury the lead. Just put the answer in the very first sentence. Second, write like you talk. Use conversational language because that's what a voice assistant needs to read out loud. And finally, use that structured data like FAQ schema to basically put up a huge neon sign for the search engine that says, hey, the answer you're looking for, it's right here. Okay, so we've just defined 4 different acronyms, and it might feel like you now have 4 completely different jobs to do. But here's the secret. They're not separate at all. In fact, they're all deeply, deeply connected. The big reveal here is that the fundamentals have not changed one bit. Things like creating clear, helpful, well-written content that actually serves a real human being, that is the bedrock. That's the foundation that helps you win across all 4 of these different playing fields. And this table just brings it all home. Take a look at that first row, content clarity. See that? It's the only thing with a check mark in every single column. It is the universal constant. Now look down at schema markup. Notice how it's crucial for AIO, GEO, and AEO? That's the new technical language of this AI-powered web. It just goes to show you, it's not about choosing one strategy over another. It's about layering these skills on top of each other. So, at the end of the day, the game has really changed. It's not just about matching keywords anymore. It's about providing genuine clarity. It's about being a direct answer, a trusted source for AI, and just communicating your expertise in the clearest way possible. So the real question you've got to ask yourself is this: is my content actually ready to answer the call?